Hi travelers, and welcome back to my channel, The Pretty Wanderer. So let's just get right into it. Today we are going to take a deeper dive into the travel credit cards as promised in my last video. I am going to go over my top credit card choices for travel and some that may not be so great. So some options you may want to avoid or that you might not get the most benefit out of. So credit card points may all appear to be equal, but they're not. Not all points are created equal. And that is where this little lesson about the top cards come into handy, because you may see 50,000 points with one card as an offer, but the same 50,000 points or miles offer may not be worth the same with another company. Disclaimer: if your credit score is not at least a 700 or greater, you could run into some issues getting approved for different credit cards. So just be mindful of that. And if not, there is a wealth of resources on getting your credit up to par before going this route. And you really certainly don't want to have any issues if you are looking to purchase a house. So we're going to get right into it. If you see me glancing down, it's because I have some notes. And of course, I'm not going to be able to remember every single detail of every card. So I'm going to probably refer to some notes here and there. So with my first favorite travel credit card, it is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And I mentioned this card in my last video. I did not get to go into specific details, but here it is. So right now, that credit card is worth a 60,000 point bonus offer or introductory offer. And that is worth $750 in travel. And if you use that card, if you use $4,000 on that card in the first 3 months, as if you want to know a little bit more about introductory offers, please refer to my last video and the best ways to get those introductory offers. But if you want to take advantage of that, you would want to get the $4,000 spent on the card in the first 3 months to get those 60,000 bonus points. Some other benefits of the card is that one thing I love about Chase Ultimate Rewards is that on most partner airlines and hotel lines, they transfer 1-to-1. So 1 point equals 1 mile. And that is the awesome part about it. In addition to that, if you're not brand loyal or you're not tied to a specific brand, you are able to take advantage of the fact that there's so many different partners with different airlines and hotels that you can kind of choose from there, as opposed to feeling tied down to one or the other. Great thing about this card too is that you earn, I think, double the points on dining in restaurants and also other travel purchases. So that's the awesome part about the card. And there is an annual fee of $99. However, the card pays for itself with some of the additional benefits. And I will get onto that when I talk about the big sister, as I like to call it, of that same card. And that brings me to the number 2 card, and that is the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, which is essentially the same company, but it is a higher level card. So they do have introductory offers on that card as well, I think ranging from 60 to 100,000 bonus points or introductory points. And with that card does have a $450 annual fee. However, the card pays for itself. I promise you, it is probably my favorite card of all. And just like with the Preferred, that card is also if you're not loyal to a particular company or a brand, you can actually use it for many different airlines and different partners. And those points transfer usually 1-to-1. And also, the beauty of it is same with the other card, but you are able to get lounge access at the airports. So, when you see me at an airport, I'm usually going to the lounge and having a glass of wine while I wait on that plane and feeling real cute, because, it's awesome that I can take advantage of that. And the card covers that for you through Priority Pass. Same with the Preferred, the little sister of the same card. Another awesome benefit that I love, I just cannot stress enough how much I love this card, is you get the TSA pre-check and global entry on both cards, little sister and big sister card. And that is an awesome perk because you get to skip those long lines. You don't have to take off your shoes at the airport. You can kind of slide on by and look at people as you walk into the other line. And then when you're coming back into the country using global entry, you don't have to go through lines. You don't have to talk to customs. You scan your fingerprint. They let you go and they pay that for you. and it is worth them doing that. That is $100 offer right there. The lounge access offer that you get with both cards is actually a $500 a year cost, but with the card, it pays for it. So once again, the card pays for itself. One thing that's different on the Chase Sapphire Reserve from the Preferred is that you get a $300 travel credit a year, and you earn more points as well for travel spending. So with that credit, that's another credit where the card is paying for itself. If you book any other kind of travel onto that credit card, it will cover it. There's also some awesome benefits like rental car coverage as far as insurance. And if you know how I drive, if you know me and you know how I drive, you know why that's important, because I had a little fender bender in a rental car one day and I just handed them the card and they took care of it and I didn't have to worry about a thing. It also covers things like flight delays, so you could probably cover you, I think it was up to $1,500 a person if we're not delayed up to a certain point. So that was an awesome benefit as well. Okay, moving on to my number 3 travel credit card that I recommend, and that is the American Express Platinum card. This card has some of the similar benefits as the Preferred, but it does have a higher annual fee. So it is a $550 annual fee a year. However, like the other card, it does pay for itself if you are a traveler. If you're not quite grasping the travel hacking world just yet, I probably wouldn't recommend starting off with this card. I would definitely go the Chase Sapphire route before doing so, especially with such a high annual fee of $550 a year. However, you can enjoy the TSA PreCheck, global entry. You can get a $200 credit off on Uber for the year, and they also will give you a $200 credit per year through a airline that you select. So if you make a purchase with a certain airline, like I prefer Delta Airlines, I could get a $200 credit towards any flight that I booked through them for the year. So that's an awesome benefit. It's definitely on the more luxury end as well. And one thing I love about this card is you can start instantly using the card and earning points before they actually send you the physical card, since they do have the instant card feature. Another great thing about this card is that you are actually able to book flights and hotels through their portal and earn 5 times the points for travel going through their portal, so different hotels and flights. And then you still earn $1, 1 point per dollar spent, just like all the other cards, for that feature. Okay, so on to my number 4 travel credit card, and that is the Capital One Venture credit card. The one that has an annual fee goes into the 4th spot. The reason why, some of the awesome benefits of this travel credit card is you can enjoy a $0 introductory annual fee and then only $95 after that in the first year. You can also enjoy TSA PreCheck access and global entry access, just like the other cards. I don't think it includes the lounge access. And then when you book flights and hotels through them, like on hotels.com, you actually earn 10 miles per dollar spent on the card. You then can also earn 2 points per dollar spent with Capital One Venture. The only thing is, I don't think the value of a Capital One Venture card, the one with the annual fee, is as high of as a Chase Sapphire card. So that 50,000 points may not be able to get you as far as it would have with the other credit cards, but it's still a great option for a card with no annual fee or for a low annual fee. As you can see, the other credit cards definitely had higher annual fees, and so their perks are a little bit differently. But the Capital One Venture card is definitely a great option for new travelers, or if you're trying to get into this. So I'm going to refer to my notes really quick, because one thing that I wanted to point out and I don't want to forget, and that is that you can get 50,000 bonus miles for signing up in your introductory offer, and you only have to spend $3,000 within that 3 months to get it. So that's a little bit more attainable, whereas the other card required you to spend $4,000. Another thing that I love about this card is that you can fly any airline or stay in the airline, so it is a little bit more flexible if you're not as brand loyal. And now on to my 5th and final favorite travel credit card, and that is the Marriott Bond Boy credit card through American Express. Now, I will say this. One of the downfalls about this card is that it is not as great of a benefit for transferring points into miles for airlines, because typically they only do 3 to 1. So if you have 100,000 points and you try to transfer it over to an airline, it's not going to equal 100,000 miles like with some of the other credit cards. So I do not recommend this one necessarily for redeeming it for flights. You can do that, but I just don't think that it's worth it. This card, however, is awesome for hotel stays. This is our hotel stay card. If the preferred card is our flight card, we're earning points on that for flights. The Marriott Bond Boy is our hotel card. You can earn an introductory offer. When we signed up, we actually was able to get the 100,000 mile point offer, but I think that it is actually, and I'm going to refer to my notes, so it is 75,000 points right now for that card, which is still awesome. And every year on your anniversary, you get a free night, 35,000 points additional. I love the Westin and the Sheratons. Those are probably some of my favorite hotels, especially the Westin. I'm definitely a Westin girl, and because of that, I can stay at the Westin in some nice places, and you really get the benefit on that card when you travel internationally for hotels. And I think that it's perfect if you want luxury type stays in hotels for not paying luxury type money. So that is one of the greatest benefits about that card. Now on to my number 6, but I'm just gonna call it an honorable mention choice because it did not make my complete top 5. However, it has some awesome benefits and I've taken advantage of it before. Now, if you are loyal to Southwest, it's perfect for you. Out of all the other airline travel credit cards, specific airline travel credit cards, Southwest is definitely one in which you will get the most benefit. So I have used it to go to Chicago with my husband a couple of years ago, and I did not pay for the flights at all. I also used it to knock down a huge chunk of my trip to the Philippines here, because I actually used it for my flights from Memphis to New York, and then I just paid for the flight from New York to the Philippines, which was way cheaper. So it knocked out like 60% of my cost going to the Philippines that year. So that is why I love the card if you love to fly Southwest. And it does, out of all of the other airlines, give you the most benefit. So one thing that they have is you can actually get upgraded up to 4 times a year using the Southwest Rapid Rewards credit card. So that's also a beautiful thing. Another thing is you actually can earn 2 times the points every time you use the card to purchase a Southwest flight. And then you still earn points per dollar spent as well to help towards Southwest. It is a $150 annual fee a year, so you gotta determine if you feel that it's worth it, being is that you can only use it for Southwest, which is why it is an honorable mention, because I would only recommend it if you are just loyal to one particular airline. There's no flexibility in using it with other partners or anything like that. Another thing about it that I do like about the card is you do earn 7,500 points every year on your card's anniversary. And you also, right now, if you sign up, you can get 40,000 points, which is a great amount of flights on Southwest, to be honest, at least 2 round trip flights somewhere. But you can get that. And with it does come with I believe when you sign up, you only have to spend $1,000 in the first 3 months, which is way more attainable than some of the other credit cards that I mentioned. So you do get the benefit there out of it. And that's why it's an awesome card if you love Southwest. Now, I did let you know that there were some cards that in my personal experience, I would recommend avoiding, as you will not get the most benefit out of them. And these 2 cards were used in my personal experience in which I did not see the value. It was almost like the good old bait and switch, if you may say. And so one of those cards is the Delta card. I hate to say it, the Delta Airlines card, because I am a true Delta airline flyer through and through. That is my favorite airline. What Delta does not tell you for their SkyMiles credit card is that 50,000, 80,000, or 100,000 miles does not get you very far with their card. The miles just don't go as far as they would just flying Delta through a Chase card or a American Express card and transferring those points with airlines. The second card that I kind of did not like personally, and I would avoid, not saying you can't choose it, but I just would avoid it, is the Hilton Honors card. So That is also very similar to the Delta SkyMiles approach. Their points are just not worth as much as other options for getting great hotels, especially when you compare it to the Hyatt or the Marriott Bond Boy card like we discussed earlier. You can get a lot further with those credit cards on hotel stays than you would the Hilton, because just like with Delta, their points are just not as valuable as some of the other cards, and that's just been my experience. And you guys, one last tip as it pertains to earning rewards points on cards, and while we're on the whole credit card travel hacking, kick, one thing I would say is you definitely don't want to wait until you have a trip in mind to take advantage of these and racking up points and earning points. You want to constantly always be thinking about points. Always think about the points in every aspect. Don't wait until you have a trip in mind, because then you're kind of missing out on all the opportunities. I love that I have points on hand. Usually, sometimes even if I do want to do an impromptu trip, like when I went to Puerto Rico this year, that was actually very much hey, we planned it like in March and we went in May, and it was like, hey, let's just take our siblings to Puerto Rico and we'll tell them we got the hotel. But the thing is, we had points on hand to do that. There's a lot of times where my husband and I will be like, well, we need to go here. Well, we'll just get a hotel. We got some points we can use. We have them on hand, and they're there for us. I hope that you guys learned something again today. Thank you again for watching my channel. Please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe below. I will have a lot of other videos coming soon. I'm actually got braids because your girl is getting ready to go to Bali this week, and so I cannot wait to post the vlog for that. Sorry, my iPad is going off. And they're actually talking about my Dubai trip in October. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it's some cards that I missed that may be great options, because I'm only speaking for the ones that I've used in personal experiences. So let me know what you think. Let me know your experiences. Let me know some content you guys may want to discuss in the future. And I just cannot wait to hear about it. And thank you guys all so much for viewing my very first video last week. That video, I've got some great views and feedback, and I just appreciate you guys already so much, and I just can't wait to